Hello everyone, I am Kasi Pandian and welcome to this video about cloud storage. In today's IT world, cloud storage is an important component. However, with so many options available in the market, it would be overwhelming to choose the right product. In this video, I'll give you key points to choose the right product. Let's begin. Before getting into cloud storage, first let's understand what is storage versus cloud storage. Storage is a traditional word where we store data into our hard disks or data centers, where we store the data. Cloud storage is nothing but same store the data on a multiple servers in a remote locations, not in our local hard disk or network drive. So let's understand cloud storage. So when we are planning to store a data in a cloud, we need to understand few things because it is not just like storing a data into a hard drive, right? So it requires set of rules like lifecycle management. What is that? When we store a data, it requires some access and it requires some versioning. So what is access control, right? So who can access the data? Because it's not in our local computer, it will be in the cloud. So we have to define who can access the data. If you override the file, what it will happen? So that we can have a versioning. If we have version, we can keep the original version intact. Like encryption. Say for example, we have a financial data. We cannot send it financial data over through network without encrypting it. Security reasons, right? Like integration. When we have all the data in cloud, there should be some usage, right? People can integrate with any of the multi-vendor or cloud services, like any of the applications run in a cloud run or EC2 instances. Next, let's talk about who all are the pioneers in the market. If you ask me, the everybody knows the three big pioneers: Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure Blob Storage, and Google GCS. Other than that, like we have other vendors too: IBM Cloud, Wasabi, Alibaba, Oracle. However, with these multi-vendors, that's where our confusion starts, what to choose. Before even getting into that, let's understand few nuances or terminologies from these cloud vendors, because that is where these cloud vendors talking to us. Without understanding these terminologies, it would be hard to pick the right product. The first terminology they use is like a latency. They call it like low latency, high latency. So what is latency? It's a length of time. Say for example, if you want to go to a place, how long it takes to reach the destination. The traveling time called latency. The same thing like it correlate with speed, but we should not confuse with speed because length of a travel time is a latency, but when you reach the place between the two devices, like for example, one place to another place, how fast you can reach, that is called speed. There is a two another terminologies like throughput and bandwidth. This is like kind of a correlation. Throughput is like actual amount of data can be transmitted over the internet, but bandwidth is like how much data we can transfer. Say for example, we have a freeway and that has 6 lanes. At a time, 6 cars can go, but if you want to send 8 cars, the other 2 cars go behind these 6 cars. So that is called bandwidth. You would have understand like the bandwidth and throughput now. Durability. What is durability? we store data into our hard disks. If we are not maintaining the hard disks in a proper way, the data get corrupted. The same way can happen in cloud also. That's why they have a multiple servers to store the replicas. They don't store it in a simple hard disk or servers. They will be having copies of data. That's when the durability comes into matter. Availability, where you are accessing, or the user how easy can access the data when they need it. This is called availability. These are the key terms we should understand. Let's talk about some real world examples so that we will be getting into these keywords more familiar. Think about a pipe. If you ask me a bandwidth, this pipe can hold 1,000 gallon of water. In every minute, if we send 100 gallons of water, then throughput would be the 100 gallons. Even though the bandwidth is 1,000 gallons, we are sending only 100 gallons. So the throughput would be 100 gallons per second. The latency is like reaching this 100 gallons to a destination, that is called latency. Response time is same like how long it took. Let's talk about the same way. If you ask me, there are so many devices in the network and physical capacity is limited and available bandwidth also divided into devices. So this is where the network speed and again download times goes down. Let's talk about another example. This is a perfect example. We have a 6-lane freeway. If cars are less, we can reach the destination very fast. But if cars are more or heavy traffic, even though we have a high bandwidth, like 6 lanes can be accommodated. At a time, 6 cars can go in a time. But still, if we have more cars, our time will take to reach the destination is more. So we should understand these terminologies in this way so that we can easily choose the right product. Now we are into a different requirement. Now we need to understand our data first. To understand our data, we should classify our data. Once we classify the data, we may able to choose the right product. They have categorized in 4 categories. They call it like frequent access. The data is like user data or a transactional data or a real-time data like weather app. It requires a frequent access. So here we need a low latency because we cannot wait to know the weather or any transactional data or user data. Less frequent access but faster access times. What does it mean? For example, we take day-to-day life, we take photos, but are we seeing it often? No. We may be seeing it after a year to see the memory, but are we? If there is a delay to download the photo and see, do you interested? No, right? That's where less frequent access, but we need a faster access time. Like we need here low latency. High throughput would be, low throughput would be okay. Rarely accessed data and very rarely accessed data are bit same. These data we won't access it very frequently. It's a rare access data. What kind of data is like logs, backups, or the data are eligible to purge? These data we store it in place, we don't even access it. But think about it. So these data we don't even access it unless there is an audit or when there is a need for the from the organization. So once we classify the data, we will be easy to understand the market strategy and again vendors and what they are offerings. Let's talk about the offerings. I took Amazon, Azure and Google's storage services because in today's world millions of users using these three guys only and they have their common Here are some common pros about these three vendors. Scalability. What is scalability? When you access data, it's highly available, and whatever data like unlimited data they're providing, like you can store any number of data into that, um, into these servers. Durability, as we talk about durability, they store it in multiple servers, so it has multiple copies in it. It will not go as like void. Availability, higher availability. Their SLA says 99.9%. These three vendors are providing 99.9% SLA. And security, they have their own algorithms, everybody, and they are securing the data in own algorithms. Integration, we can easily integrate with any of the services. These three big guys are supporting it. What is the cons? Common cons. Same complexity, because if you want to store a data in AWS or Google or Azure, you should know their way of storing it. The learning curve is like more when it comes to this cloud. Cost, when the data grows, we should be very careful about frequent access data and infrequent access data. Otherwise, we will be ending up paying more. Same like retrieval fees. So we should be very cautious. Otherwise, we will be paying more. Latency, we have to decide our latency for a frequent access data or a infrequent access data. Support, even though they have a multiple documentation, but it's very hard to learn, and again timely manner getting a help is like very difficult. These are all like common pros and cons. Let's talk about specific. So if your application needs lowest latency, then Amazon and Azure can be the best option, because Google has the highest throughput for both downloads and uploads. So the idea is like when you have a smaller files, we can choose Amazon or Azure. But if we have a bigger files, we have to go with the Google's data storage. And Google is the only one giving multi-region support when it compares to other two. And these data downloads and uploads all are like depends on your network speed as well as what kind of computing device you have. So it's all depends on the needs. So let's talk about the needs. Say for example, you have a gaming application that may require a low latency, but we don't need a continuous upload or download. So little upload and download speed is good enough. But when it comes to browsing, the user cannot wait. We need a high bandwidth, high browsing, and low latency. But same time, streaming, it is like opposite of gaming. We need a highest speed, but we don't need a good latency. But when it comes to video chat, we need a good speed with good latency, meaning lower latency. With this all, you should have understand what what's your requirement and what product to choose. In a conclusion, cloud storage is an essential component of modern IT infrastructure, providing flexible, scalable, and secure storage options for a business of all sizes. While there are so many different cloud storages available in the market, evaluating your specific needs and use cases is a key to making an informed decision. With the right cloud storage solution in place, you can streamline your data storage, improve your workflows, and ensure that the data is secure and accessible from anywhere. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.